The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots. Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
We've got a regular work week going on here at the Star in Frisco. It's a Wednesday, and it's the official start of Bill's week. My week.
Very cute. What?
I just thought of that as soon as I said it.
You're too happy with yourself. Too happy with yourself.
And we got a lot to get to after missing on Tuesday, but Everson, at least two of us were hard at work. It wasn't me. I shouldn't say us. Two of them were hard at work.
Two of them were hard at work.
Yeah, hard at work on Tuesday.
Yes.
Had our red aprons on, didn't we?
Had your red aprons on, serving up something?
No, just trying to stay clean with all the stuff we had to pick up and move.
Tell us what you did.
Savannah should start off. She had a harder job.
I did the shopping. So I was running around. I got a list of families who I had to go pick out some gifts for, and I'd run around the warehouse
where was this?
and go find
At the Salvation
Army
warehouse.
Okay. Salvation Army
Right
warehouse.
off of Harry Hines?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then I would bag it all up, make sure the kids had all the gifts that they wanted or needed. And then Mickey was doing the cars.
I did
correct? Pickups.
the pickups. So when the cars would pull in, they had a number, and so they pulled their number out and gave it to us, and we had to go down the aisles and find the bags that she was stuffing, and then we had a big shopping cart, and then we bring it outside, and then the people outside take it and put it in the cars.
So how many were involved in this endeavor?
There was too many.
There's a lot of people.
We had a lot of volunteers.
It was great,
and,
yeah.
And fewer cars.
Cowboys employees,
Yes.
volunteers.
Yeah, and we had the 2:30 to 5:30 shift that ended early because the cars disappeared. We didn't have as many as last year's.
No.
Last year they were lined up for a mile
I was
down
there.
the street.
I was there last year.
Right?
Yeah.
And this year, I made 2 runs. I waited in line forever to make my 3rd run. I got right to the front. I was next, and they got a phone call because the cars had to line up at Red River in the parking lot there to get their qualification to go, and then they'd get a number. Well, there were no more cars at Red River, and so they told us, yeah, you can do something else, but we have no more cars coming by. And it was like, are you serious? I waited all this time, and I didn't get my next pickup run. So most of us left early, but Savannah stayed to the end.
I did.
With the primary role there.
Good to give back.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that time of the year.
It is fun. So, and the people are very appreciative of getting all that stuff that they asked for. And it's not just for kids stuff. There was also like older adults that needed things like blankets or stuff like that. So, yeah, it was pretty neat.
All right. So here we are. Players back to work today and getting set for the Buffalo Bills.
And a late arrival, so they didn't need to be here till 10:30, 10:45. And it'll be a late afternoon practice because Bill's not doing his press conference till 3:30. So he's still...
Bill.
Are you doing your press conference at 3:30? So,
Mike
yeah.
McCarthy's not doing his press conference still.
Yeah, right.
It is Bill's week, but Bill's not.
Bill's
week.
press
Bill's
conference.
week, yeah.
McCarthy press
You're stepping
conference at
in.
3:30. Yeah. And so he's doing, whatever he can to get them off their feet for as long as possible before they start their preparation for the Bills.
That's right. And the Bills, who have gotten back on track here in the last couple of weeks after things were wavering for them early in November, and now just in time to play the Cowboys and host the Cowboys on Sunday at 3:25.
So they fired their offensive coordinator, right? Isn't that what happened
a few weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago?
Yep.
A couple of weeks ago. So have things panned out better for the Buffalo offense, Spags?
Well, not really.
No?
Well, they did score. So in 2 of the last 3 games that they've won, they've put up 32 against the Jets in a 32-6 win. They put up 34 against Philadelphia in an overtime loss because they gave up 37, but had the winning touchdown pass in the end zone when the receiver looked the wrong way.
Well, how do you know it's on the receiver? Did he say?
I don't think the guy could. Well, to me, it didn't look like he could find the football. And then only 20 points against Kansas City, but did
That was
win
after they won their bye week.
Yeah, and then they won their bye week, right? So at one point, if they won 2 of their last 3, they were 5-6.
They were 5 and they were Well, they were 5 and 5. They were 5 and 5.
5 and 5.
And beat the Jets 32-6. Then lost in overtime to Philadelphia to fall back to 6-6. Had their bye week, and then this past Sunday, the game at Kansas City, the Kadarius Toney game. See how we put a name on.
There you go. Why can't we call this? Okay, so for Kansas City, we're going to call the first part of the season the Matt Nagy games because he can't call plays. Is that what we're doing? Because it seems like that's what they're trying to put the blame.
Correlation for every single game.
They say he's
I mean, forever and ever, that will be known as the Kadarius Toney game, right?
Just
like the Leon Lett game, just like the Everson Walls game.
The one where he
That's
the
right.
one where Everson didn't Yeah, I know, I got it.
At least you didn't step over the line, right?
No, I didn't. But so is Matt Nagy that bad? Play call?
Oh, I have.
I mean,
no
they
idea.
talk about him. You know, I thought
They
talked about me. Bieniemy was, you know, the reason for.
We've
Mahomes
shifted to
doing
Chiefs
well.
talk now.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where Andy Reid's running that offense.
Yeah.
Right. He may not be calling every play, but I mean that was Bieniemy's problem. He couldn't get out under the shadow of Andy Reid to get a head coaching job.
So I'm looking up the weather report.
Yes, please.
In Buffalo
That's
this
important.
week because
Do I need my winter?
we got to keep an eye on that a little bit. You're probably going
Do
to
I need
your
my winter coat?
Yes, it is looking like a 49
Okay.
for the high, 42 for the low.
Okay.
Raining, potential rain, light rain around 3 p.m.
Which is basically nightfall there.
Wind 10 miles per hour is the report.
Oh,
as
that's
of right
not
now.
bad. 10 miles per hour.
So
But
if the temperature drops a little, it's snow and not rain.
I
Correct.
heard some guy this morning. He was on the ticket. I don't know if he knew what the hell he was talking about, but he's talking about lake effect snow and lake effect weather and all of that. Do you know who that guy was?
Yeah,
Spags?
I don't know who it was, but I know about lake effect weather.
I think his name was Mickey. I was listening to Mickey
I
this
wasn't
morning.
on this morning.
Yes, you were.
I was
not
on
on?
at 11:22
Okay.
On the fan.
on the fan.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just said you got to be ready for all the elements. And I know all
I
about
thought I recognized that voice. It kind of gave me a
all about lake
little
effect
shiver.
because I grew up south of the lake.
And this time of the year, I mean, we're basically the shortest day of the year is coming up here, the 21st. And upstate New York, I mean, it gets dark at what time?
5.
About
Maybe before
3:25 Dallas time. It's getting dark in Buffalo.
So
Or it's probably already
4:25
dark.
there.
Yeah, it's already dark.
It's
by
probably the first quarter will not finish with any.
Yeah, that's right. So it's basic.
Sunlight.
It is basically a night game. So
Yeah.
But it only gets the lowest 42. That's not
so it's
bad at all.
We talk 49 is the high. It's going to be closer to 42
That's a
with a
spring
40%
day.
chance of rain.
Spring day in Buffalo.
So, and it probably just feels colder there.
See, and then we had the other part of the discussion was being able to win on the road. And my point is they're 3-3 on the road, but 2 of the games that they lost were against 2 of the teams that have the best records in the NFL. So was it the road or was it the opponent that you have to factor in? Now I can't answer for Arizona. No elements. You're indoors. against a bad opponent, and and you had 3 offensive linemen missing, but you still gave up 28 points.
Makes you want to curse, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Because if you remember,
it makes no sense
after
whatsoever.
that game, I said that they're going to pay for that loss at some point during the season, and it could come back to haunt them since it was an NFC loss.
When you look at Buffalo at home, they have been somewhat dominant at times, but they have lost some big games at home. Going back to last year, I believe it was that
Cincinnati,
last year?
Was
lost
it?
to Cincinnati. They knocked them out.
And that was bad field conditions.
Yeah, it should have been their field conditioner. That should have been what they were accustomed to. But, when you're coming from Cincinnati, I guess that's just another Sunday.
And you look at their home games this year. Okay, the last time they played at home was November 19th, the Jets game, which was a win, 32-6. The previous Monday night, they lost to Denver, and everybody's losing to Denver these days. 24-22 was the final score there. And prior to that, a win over Tampa Bay, 24-18. They beat the Giants 14-9.
Oh, stay my beating heart.
They lost. No, I'm sorry, that was in London.
It was neutral.
They lost to Miami at home 48-20 on October 1st. And actually, they won over Miami 48-20 October 1st, and they beat Las Vegas at home 38-10. So they started off the season very strong at home.
They're just not that impressive at home. It seems like when things start going bad, and I know this happened to an extreme comparison. The one game we won in 1989 was on the road. Sometimes you get tired of losing at home and you need to be away from your people.
Sunday night at Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And Washington came in and they were indignant. They could have run right over the Cowboys, but they kept throwing the football and they couldn't complete. I think Doug Williams came back from
a bad back.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pretty good, huh?
It is.
Don't ask me what happened last year, though.
Can you remember the details? Can you remember the details from the 15 losses that season?
They all just
it's a lot easier.
They all just run together.
It's a lot easier to remember the details of your only win of the year.
Here's the detail I remember from that year. So they were 0-8, and at that point it was like, you were kind of analyzing what was going on, and you're picking on them on this was bad and that was bad, and then you come to the conclusion they're just bad. So there's no sense picking on them, right?
Bad.
So you understand what you're doing, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to see NFL history, the first team to go 0-16, right? And then when they won the game, it was like, oh, hell, now it's just a bad season. I thought I was going to be covering something really significant.
It just occurred to me that 1-15 season was a lot like my golf game. Horrible on 17 holes, and it's that one hole where I hit it.
That brings you back, Bill. It brings you back.
That's right, yeah. So, anyway, all right, we're just getting started on this edition of Mick Shots. So much to get to when we come back in a moment.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys. You guys, Brandon Aubrey named Special Teams Player of the Week.
That's right.
For the second time this year.
Mickey's boy.
4 for 4 in that game, 30 for 30 on the season with field goals of what? 60, 59, 50, and 45, something like that.
That's right.
That was impressive.
First
that should
NFL
be.
kicker to make two 59-plus field goals in the same game.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Did you see who the offensive players of the week are in both conferences?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Jets quarterback Zach Wilson
crazy?
is the offensive player of the week in the AFC. And my guy, Tommy DeVito, in the NFC.
That's crazy.
DeVito and all the paisans. God, what a picture that was.
That's
His
crazy,
agent,
man.
all the things.
Down at Central
dad.
Casting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know there's going to be a movie.
Right.
And they don't even have to, they just can use real people.
Oh,
you know?
And they would all just love it, too. No fake Jersey accents, no fake Italian accents.
Authentication.
Very authentic.
You know, the two Monday night games, I was thinking about this as I was watching it unfold. All right, so you had basically 3 first-year quarterbacks, first-year starters.
Because everybody's hurt?
And, with Jordan Love with Green Bay, even though he's in the league for his 4th year, he's finally playing for the first time.
Okay.
So he leads a comeback to take the lead. And then DeVito leads the Giants back for the game-winning field goal. And then if you flip over to the Tennessee-Miami game, and there's the second-round draft pick Will Levis getting his opportunity against the mighty Dolphins, who lost players left and right, including Connor Williams for the season. By the way, Connor Williams won't be playing against Cowboys next
Connor
week.
McGovern will be.
That's right, this week for Buffalo.
Stroud not so much, right? Didn't he get beat?
And C.J. Stroud got knocked out late in the game for Houston. But anyway, so then...
and you had another backup quarterback starting for Seattle.
Yeah, but I was just talking about the Monday night games.
I know.
But what
I was doing the whole league.
But you look at... There are 3 quarterbacks who, from different walks of college life, who had an opportunity in prime time on Monday night and came through. And it got me to thinking, and it actually made those games more compelling to me just to see if these rookie quarterbacks or first-year starter quarterbacks could come through in the clutch, and they did in that case Monday night. Added some intrigue to those games.
And by the way, to amplify what she said about Brandon Aubrey, that's his second special teams player of the week.
Week 8,
honor.
right?
Week 8 after the Rams game. I think that's when he finally broke the consecutive streak and now has extended it to 30 for 30. And had a horde of cameras and reporters around him in the locker room.
About time. They don't really give him much notice, much coverage.
Right.
He's a guy that we're really taking for granted. That's what I see.
Well, think about this. Think about when we started in training camp. And we're all going,
we're looking for
what's
the kicker.
The weakness of this team? Well, they don't really have a kicker. We don't know what's going on. And what was it?
And that's coming into the season we had.
Right?
Yeah.
And then right away they cut Tristan Vizcaino, and it's like, okay, the rookie who's never kicked in the NFL before, who's only kicked 2 seasons professionally, only kicked 2 seasons in his life for a team, is now the kicker. and by God, he's been unflappable so far. And
we said the same thing last year,
with Brett Maher.
Mm-hmm. He was doing so well.
And then the playoffs happened.
He was doing so well.
Well, look, if it wasn't for the playoffs, if the Cowboys are in the playoffs, he's making $3 million a year this year because of what he did in the regular season.
Mm-hmm. It really wasn't the playoffs. It was the Titans game, right? That's when he started messing up.
Tampa Bay.
No, I mean it was the last game.
In the playoffs or the regular season?
It was the last game of the season.
No, that was Washington.
Yeah, he was screwing up that game.
He missed extra point, got blocked, and I think he missed a field goal.
Yeah, that's when you could see something was going bad.
The wheels were coming off.
Regular season game. The timing couldn't be worse.
Yeah, but you know what? He let that lumpy field get in his head.
The
field in Tampa.
The lumpy field followed him to the other game?
No, I'm saying in Tampa.
I understand that, but I mean mentally it followed him.
Well,
yes.
Sometimes when you're perfect, you got to be careful because now you got to handle being human.
Yeah.
And so far, this guy's handled it all pretty darn well.
Mm-hmm.
So the league meetings are going on in Dallas as we speak.
Yes.
And the news today, the NFL will play a regular season game in Brazil next year.
I thought that was yesterday, but go ahead.
Okay. What's the date today?
13.
It is December 13th. Dateline Dallas, December 13th. NFL plays a regular season game in Brazil in 2024, first ever in South America. And the NFL will have played a regular or preseason game in 5 of the 7 continents. Africa and Antarctica got next.
I think that's probably not going to happen.
That's a shame. The brothers always get left out, man. That's a damn shame. In Africa, we can't find
how many football stadiums they have.
They can build what you want.
Well, you're right.
They can build what you want.
So next year, 3 in London, 1 in Munich, and 1 in Brazil for 5 international games.
And who's playing in them?
And we will find out early next year who's going to be playing in the game in Brazil. And this just in 4 minutes ago, more international NFL news. Clubs approved an increase in the number of international games from 4 up to 8 in 2025. No club will be required to play more than 1 game outside of North America in the same season unless they choose to, Jacksonville.
Yeah, really.
So 8 international games in 2 years, in 2025. Mickey, you have your passport updated.
I do. As a matter of fact, I've got the, what's the thing that's better than the TSA pre-check?
Mm-hmm.
Global entry.
Nice.
Okay.
Yes, I got approved.
Yeah, I know some drug dealers, too. They get approved on
So
that
they're going to let me out and let me in.
Yeah, I got you, man.
So where do you think they're sending the Cowboys?
Brazil.
Think Brazil next year?
Don't you
It's
think?
about time the Cowboys made one of these international trips.
As long as they don't say you got to give up a home game.
Brazil, Germany, and
London would be really cool too.
They've done that.
Already done that.
Yeah, even I did that.
But
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still pretty cool. It was a good trip. 2014 and 1986.
In a preseason game.
That's right.
When was the last time they went to play internationally?
2014.
2014?
We spent a week in London.
That was the Joseph Randall game.
Really? What happened?
He had a good day.
He had a,
it's
Des
a good.
Bryant
Oh,
had
you're
a
naming a good game after someone.
That's
I didn't
right.
know you could
That's
do that. Okay, we're getting optimistic.
A big
around
game.
here.
So 10 years later, that would be
yeah.
I remember
Suitable.
trying to find some tasty food in London.
Well, you had to eat other international food,
Yeah, I did.
not the
I
English.
did.
food.
I
Yeah.
did. Because the Hard Rock Cafe, I mean, how do you mess up Hard Rock Cafe food?
As I remember, the
It was
hotel,
horrible, man.
the hotel we were staying at, the best food was breakfast. It was just an array of stuff.
The best place around there was you walk right down the street behind the Hilton, and there was an Italian joint.
Right.
White tablecloth, everything. Had a great meal.
Do you remember the London preseason game?
Against the Bears.
No, it was against the Lions.
No, he's talking recently.
Recent.
The 93.
No,
1993.
I wasn't there, but I remember.
Oh,
that.
You weren't there?
No, I was freelancing.
Oh, okay.
Hadn't have anybody to.
I was on the charter, and so we had to. It was a night game, London time, and then the charter didn't leave until hours after the game, and so we had to check our bags and everything, and then there was a wait after the game back at the hotel waiting to take off, and so in the hotel lobby, restaurant/bar, we're all waiting the hours out. What I remember most from that trip was Nate in Frisco. Nate in Frisco does not remember this, I'm sure, but you know how playful Nate in Frisco could be with the media.
I can't imagine.
I remember walking by him, going into the restaurant/bar, and Nate in Frisco hit me in the chest.
Oh, gosh.
I have never been hit harder in my life. It about took the breath out of me. It was a love tap from Nate in Frisco.
I hope he's listening right now.
It was a love tap, but for me, I was like, oh my God. And I got a feel for just how physical the National Football League must be if that's a love tap.
He didn't even put his weight behind it. He just,
yeah. Right. Oh, my goodness.
And the reporter will go unnamed, but was that the game where someone did their TV live shot with a win and a loss because they had to leave
taped
early?
it ahead of time.
Taped it ahead of the game.
A win and a loss.
A loss and it ended in a tie.
Tie.
Oh, come on.
So they had to send the reports ahead of time, and so you try to cover yourself with, okay, Cowboys.
Oh, our reporter was having a bad day.
That's a bad day. Yeah.
A bad day at work.
And he's sitting there watching the game, I'm sure, going, no.
I think it was a 13-13 tie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
So, back to the Bills game.
Bills week.
Yeah. This one is somewhat critical when it comes to injuries with Jonathan Hankins. Now, they're saying sprained ankle. I think we've heard high sprained ankle.
Which is worse.
Yes, especially for a guy that's 325 pounds. And Dan Quinn talked about how important Jonathan Hankins has been on their defense, talking about how he's keeps square to the line of scrimmage against the run. He's strong and has experience, and that
and he's been playing well.
And he's got 3 sacks now.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
that's one sack.
That's why I picked him for my click to pick.
And then he got hurt on.
And then he got hurt. So
right.
will Mozzie Smith then step in?
I would imagine he gets the first opportunity. I figured out he's only averaging, I just wrote it down, like 13, 15 snaps a game, and his most has been in the blowout win over the Giants. The second time around, he had like 24 snaps. So he hasn't really played that much. There's a possibility, and they probably will do it, Carl Davis Jr. was on the practice squad.
That was a under-the-radar big signing, so to speak.
And I knew
literally
he was a
big
veteran.
Signing last month.
Yes.
And it was Carl Davis, I believe he was with New England earlier this year.
9-year career. This is his ninth year.
Big guy from Iowa. But that was looking ahead. What if something happens to Jonathan Hankins? As a personnel department, you're going through the roster and say, okay, it's what ifs at every position. And Carl Davis was a guy that became available, and they decided to sign him to the practice squad. And the main reason for that, he's a trusted veteran guy who's got 9 years experience in the league. And if anything happens to Jonathan Hankins, then you got that, as Randy White would call it, big bazooka to put in the middle of the defensive line.
335 pounds.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And see, Mozzie is not 335 pounds.
I think that's one reason.
I don't think
they could see that Nazi was not doing well.
Well, and
Would you
Mozzie,
say that?
as the season has gone on, Mozzie, when he was drafted, was listed as 325 pounds. He is closer probably to 300 pounds than he is 325 now.
For
and
some
so
reason,
It lists
298.
it as 328 for Mozzie
328.
Smith right now.
There you go.
And now, but he's actually what?
He's down. I heard he was down in the low 300s.
Oh, you mean like
this
since
was
he
at the
got
time of the Carl Davis signing.
Yeah.
That and
How do you have that much of a discrepancy?
Well,
that's Michigan.
Maybe just working out.
you're working out and
eating.
You know what I'm saying.
And
You know
eating
how they
right.
do. You know, like, oh, yeah, he's 320, 350, but then he's 6'4", but he's
man.
really 6'2". You know, he's 210 pounds. No, he's really about 197.
They wouldn't put my 128 in the program when I was in high school.
So that's what I'm saying. What is it, them being just generous with the numbers at Michigan when we drafted him, or?
I think
So
he
to you, to
legitimately weighed
lose-
that, and then
And he legitimately lost 20 plus pounds.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I mean, if he can lose,
And that's
20
where
plus
they're
pounds,
actually looking at him as being more of a 3 technique type than a 1 technique. At 300 pounds over 325.
it changes
But
the whole narrative about him, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
now he could get back up, and
That's hard to do.
So those-
maybe,
Hard
maybe
to
they
do-
have to
it's hard
figure
do
out.
in a
Well,
in
the
a
other
healthy
part
way.
of it is they figure out his metabolism, with the workout schedule they have here and what he really needs to eat
Yeah.
in order to maintain if they want him to play at 325.
That's quite a
you know.
change. That's quite a change.
But okay, so the Cowboys are monitoring that as they go along the season. They realize, okay, what if we lost Jonathan Hankins? Then what? And this is nothing against Mozzie Smith. If he's not the same person that you drafted, which was be in that rotation with Hankins, whatever, then you need somebody. And so Carl Davis, I thought it was a shrewd move to bring him in case you were without Hankins for a game or two.
I'm curious to see how Mozzie would play under this new body.
Yeah.
How would it help him improve? Or will he get dominated?
well, because he was. I mean, I don't know. It had to do with his weight, but he was slow off the ball. Slow off the snap.
Anytime you're losing 20 plus pounds, you're going to be affected in some way, and hopefully for the better.
Right.
That's something that's quite a move. I know he's still, a 300-pound guy, but that's quite a move to make weight-wise. It has to affect his quickness in a good way.
And then the only other defensive lineman that they have that's kind of a tackle, 6'5", 385, Prevalin, is that how you say it? They call him Willington, but he's a first-year guy, so he hadn't played much.
How big is he?
6'5", it says.
The weight.
285.
I thought you said 385.
No, 285.
I thought you said 385.
I might have, but it's 285.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. He's
Yeah,
285.
285.
He's not 385.
That sounds like a defensive end,
Willington Prevalon.
doesn't it? That sounds like a defensive end.
Yeah, or a 3
Like
technique.
or a 5 technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, from a size standpoint, yeah. And Quinn said that we would, do it from within, because I'm sure everybody's looking at, who's available. When I saw Sue's name came, I thought somebody had already signed him, didn't they?
You had mentioned it last week, but upon further review, that signing did not take place.
Oh, it did
was
not.
No,
It was
Philadelphia.
Brought him
You
in.
can't be
and-
spreading false information.
Yeah, that's true too.
we have a reputation.
But how about good information, by the way? So guess what was sitting in everybody's locker today? A hoodie. And what was on the hoodie?
Dolly Parton.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Oh,
Here we
Thank
go.
Here we go.
There we go.
And it
I'm
wasn't.
about a
There we
week
go.
late.
Here we go.
I'm about 2 weeks late.
And it wasn't go. It was 4 O's and go.
Oh, I got you.
Very good. And I'd just
And who-
written that.
Who had suggested that? The marketing campaign?
Me.
That's right.
And I had just written it. And I said,
There's
they
a
got
hashtag. Here we go with multiple O's on the end, because the Steelers have a couple of years ago, the NFL wide, they had hashtags for each team. Well, the Steelers stole "Here We Go" with a built-in Steeler logo on the end of it. So
we have to add the O's.
You have to add the O's, and it's not customized. Fortunately, someone who follows me on Twitter, I threw it out there, and then he gave me the little Cowboys star logo to put on the end of it. But it's not. You have to add it every time, and I don't have it.
And you know why it took off, don't you?
What?
Because Jason Garrett asked Dak about it in the pregame interview.
Like we didn't know about this until Jason asked him about it. We had no idea he was saying, "Here we go."
What the rest of the world didn't know was he wanted to know how it started. And Dak said, "Well, that's funny because somebody just asked me that the other day." And he goes, "Mickey."
Oh, no, he didn't.
Mickey got a shout out.
Shout out on national TV.
Did they say your last name?
Huh? No, he didn't. He just said Mickey.
Everybody knows.
Because he knows.
Everybody knows.
He was talking
Come
to
on.
Jason, right? He didn't need a last name, right?
You know, they're friends. He and Dak, they're close friends.
So how many people who heard that interview
Mickey
knew who they were referring to?
The Cowboy
Mickey.
fans know.
Yeah.
Ask Everson.
I would have known. I would have known.
He sees it every Saturday afternoon, right?
That's right, baby.
Mickey is an icon.
He is.
It was pretty funny.
So what was the story behind it?
The Here We Go?
Because he pulled Tyler Biotish, right?
I thought I didn't talk about it Friday.
You did.
I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled Tyler over, and Tyler said, "Well, you kept saying, let's go," and he said at one point, you said, "Here we go, come on," because he wanted
Like
everybody to
shut the hell up.
Shut up, yeah. I used a different term. When I was talking to them, I said, I used an F in there. I was like, yeah. Because it's time to get
What that mean?
Time to get the cadence going, right? Clock's running out on us. Shut up.
It's Fort. F-O-R-T.
Here we go. It's time for a break here on Mix Shots. We're back in a moment.
Long time ago.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Did you know that responding to one spam call can lead to more? Or that the IRS would never ask for your social security number on the phone? Beat scammers at their own game by subscribing to AARP Fraud Watch Network alerts and texts. At aarp.org/beatscammerstx, you can sign up to receive information that helps you recognize and avoid the latest scams. That's aarp.org/beatscammerstx.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mix Shots.
Get a frame-worthy family holiday photo with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa Claus will be at his Cowboys-themed cottage in the Star District through December 24th. Book your visit before December 9th and save $5 with the code STAR5. Visit thestardistrict.com/Santa for more info. We're past December 9th on this, so
Yes,
you
we
can't
are.
use that $5 code, everybody. Sorry.
Mickey just asked a question, and I think we probably should address it as we kick off Bills Week here. Mickey, you're asking a question about the Bills' nickname?
Yeah, why did they name them the Bills?
Well, according to Wikipedia, the Bills' name is derived from an All-America Football Conference franchise from Buffalo that was in turn named after Western frontiersman Buffalo Bill.
I had it.
Excellent.
Why would they pick that? Buffalo's not got anything to do with Westerns and Cowboys.
Yeah, Buffalo
Buffalo
Bill, the original, it's from, I think, Colorado.
Yeah. Because don't they have his...
They do Buffalo Bills Days in Denver, where they celebrate.
Because don't they have... There's a tombstone, I think.
His
I think
resting
it's at like a buffalo ranch.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
place where the buffaloes are roaming along I-70.
Yes.
Buffalo Bill passed away in 1917 at age 70 in Denver, and his resting place at Lookout Mountain, Colorado.
So the Bills were just trying to...
Denver Broncos.
Yes.
The Denver Broncos should be named the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, right?
The
Denver Bills doesn't have...
Doesn't sound right.
Okay. So
Well, we got to the bottom of that.
We don't play Buffalo very often. We have played them in Super Bowls, though. And
I think so.
And do you think that question was posed back then?
I don't think so.
Only,
We just accepted things back then.
That's right.
Now we question.
I questioned things back then.
Yeah.
It got your ass in trouble, too. Because nobody else got your back.
All right. What's today's date?
13.
13th. We were remiss when we
Yes,
last
we were.
convened, weren't we?
Yes, we were.
Why? What'd we miss on Monday?
Man, we missed an important freaking holiday, dude.
December 11th?
December 11th. What?
Yep.
What's significant about December 11th?
Savannah.
We missed the one and only Mickey Spagnola's birthday. You guys.
It's okay if you guys miss it as long as I don't miss it.
You're getting the slow clap. You're getting the slow clap, buddy.
As long as I don't miss the birthday.
Well,
We
happy
are so
belated
sorry,
birthday.
Spags.
Belated birthday.
Happy
We won't say
belated
what number it
birthday.
was.
Well, we
right?
can if we want.
It's up to you.
Yeah, no, I don't know how.
It correlates with Chuma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you passed Buffalo Bills resting age.
That's right.
Thank God.
Absolutely. Well, doesn't Everson have a December birthday?
I do.
But it's not Chuma Doga's birthday.
And it ain't, it
his
is not
number.
here yet. And
Yep.
you guys didn't miss it. We missed yours, man. I cannot believe that. I'll fall on the sword on that one because I know we talked about it at the Q&A on Saturday. So, yeah, we should have said something.
Did they sing happy birthday to you at the Q&A on Saturday? An early birthday gift?
I don't believe so.
No, we did
Okay.
not. We did not.
That's on me. I should have missed that birthday.
That's right, because, Chris,
It's my brother's birthday.
same day. And guess what?
Yeah.
His birthday and my sister's birthday on the same day, too.
Wow.
Wait a second. Whose birthday and your sister's?
Chris.
Chris's.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not the same year, but the same day.
Still.
Yeah, same
So
day.
when is producer Supreme's birthday?
January 12th.
Oh, we'll still
Oh,
be
he's
doing
kept
this
going.
January
Oh,
12th.
I'm going to
I
have
know
to
you
keep
was
a
a cap,
log.
Chris.
I'll write it all down.
Chris is a cap.
Savannah, when's yours?
July 7th.
Okay. We won't be
We
doing
will not
the
be
show.
doing
Correct. That's okay.
The day after they signed Brandon Aubrey.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
You know who I
I'll
share a
take that.
birthday with?
Who?
My sister,
Oh, okay.
my twin sister.
Because you're
Yeah.
yes, a twin.
I do too.
I did not know that.
I'm a twin. Yeah.
Wow.
She's much better looking. And I also share a birthday with Micah Parsons,
Oh, wow. Now, that's just too much.
May 26th.
I think you changed your birthday just so it could be
I
with
can
Michael
always
Parsons.
remember Micah Parsons' birthday. It's May 26th.
Mine is Denzel Washington.
So when's your birthday?
December 28th.
December 28th.
I'm writing it all down.
Okay. So
Where are we at?
that'll be a Thursday, December 28th. We will have a show that day, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be here.
Oh,
it's a joke. It's a joke. Come on, man. You party on your birthday. Come on. That's a joke.
A party here on your birthday.
That's right. Does not sound fun.
Okay, so what do we need to study up for tomorrow's episode of Mick Shots? What would you like our homework assignment to be?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
You got it.
Who you passed over that game against Philadelphia a little bit, and my sources in Philadelphia, and I remember watching it on television, but the guy that was on the sideline watching that game said Josh Allen's game against Philadelphia was one of the best quarterback performances he has witnessed. Just what he had endured that day. And
that game was unbelievable. He carried the team.
And should have thrown the game-winning touchdown pass.
So we're going to get Josh Allen's best effort on Sunday.
I would imagine. Along with some guy named Diggs, too, huh?
And that's my aspect. I'm looking at it from that aspect. I want to see how their DBs are going to play us. I want to see how this environment, the weather, how would that affect our offense on the road in a place that these guys never played in Buffalo. None of these guys ever played in Buffalo. I'm going to love to see how they handle our passing game. I don't think they can. So I'm looking at DBs. I'm looking at linebackers who's going to be trying to cover our tight ends because Ferguson's going to have a day. Can they stop the run? These are things I know nothing about Buffalo. And these are the things I'm going to be looking forward to finding out.
The big thing is Mickey's looking up something in the media guide that's going to be very pertinent to what you just said, I'm sure.
Last two times the Cowboys played Buffalo, they've gotten beat 16-6 in Buffalo in 15, and then 26-15 in Dallas in 2019.
The last time we played in Buffalo was when?
2015. So Romo would have been out.
Do you know who the quarterback was that day?
2015. Well, it would have been.
He's looking it up.
He act like he knows in his head while he's looking
Kellen
it up.
Moore. Kellen Moore. Was that towards the end of the season?
Wow.
Yeah.
Kellen Moore was the quarterback.
Second to last game of the season, they had kicked the bucket already and decided that let's see what this kid can do.
How did he do?
I think he did. I think he did okay. He didn't. He didn't put up but 6 points, so did much better against Washington the next week, although they got beat 34-23.
When you look at this Buffalo team, and I think one of the main reasons that they started, the wheels started coming off on their season in October was when they lost their linebacker, Matt Milano, and they lost their cornerback, Tre'Davious White, within a week of each other. And right after that, they lost to Jacksonville. Then they just beat the Giants 14-9. They lost at New England, of all places, 29-25. Then they beat Tampa Bay by just a touchdown. Then they lost at Cincinnati, and then they lost to Denver. So that's 4 losses in 6 games after they lost Milano and White to injuries.
But those are
now
defensive players, and they're not scoring on offense after they lost defensive players.
Yep.
Right? So they were in disarray all the way around.
But I think you take 2 of their best players, Milano, you can make the argument he's their best player on defense, and that's a setback for a team. And a team that's already strapped against the cap as far as any replacements go, So now you're catching them after they've recovered from that, okay, and they've sorted things out, so which makes it more of a challenge facing them in December than back in October.
We will see.
Especially it's in Buffalo.
There you go. All right.
You think they still remember the losses in the Super Bowl? Is that too far along?
No, it is not.
They can't forget about that.
They will not forget.
You have to be over the age of 40.
Well, 30 years ago, the second one.
They'll trot Jim out there too now and try to fire up the crowd.
Yeah,
so they remember. Trust me.
Yep,
that's a good point.
All right, we're back with another episode of Mick Shots tomorrow. In the meantime, a belated happy birthday, Mickey Spagnola.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!